Welcome to Mindboost Moments, a podcast for those who want to hear from like-minded people and how they're making a dent in the world. So join me on my continued journey of learning and discovery. I'm really pleased to be joined today by Sonia Kelly, who is a Product Development Director at Mamas and Papas. She's honestly overflowing with passion for working at Mamas and Papas, the role she plays in supporting new parents and the products her team create and the impact they make. It was such a joy to talk to Sonia and really find out why she's so full of energy every day. This is Mindboost Moments. What's the Sonia stamp that you're looking for?
Oh, the Sonia stamp. I think certainly. I love the Sonia stamp for soft goods, the real test, and we call it the R factor. So if the team show me a piece of clothing or some beautiful interiors or a toy, and you find yourself, it's like an involuntary, like,
Yeah.
And it's that moment that you get when you see it and that emotive feeling that you get.
Yeah.
And I will say that R factor that gives you that feeling as you look at something. That's one of our tests, really.
I love it. We always talk about the wow factor because, again, for exactly the same reason, you just go, oh, wow. But yeah, I like the idea of the R moment because that's a real emotional connection as well, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And I think, but in the hard goods side of it, as you say, it's more the wow moment. It's when you're shown a new function or how the team have managed to solve a problem and you go,
yeah.
Wow. Like literally I sit there and go, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. That's so clever. So yeah, we have the wow and the R.
The wow and the R. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So I set you two questions initially, didn't I, before this? So what excites you and makes you fizz with energy?
Now, I did wonder, is that just a work question?
No, anything. Absolutely anything.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would say I am just a really passionate person in kind of anything that I do. So in terms of my family, in terms of friendships, in terms of work, like I really love to feel passion with whatever I do or, whoever I'm with. It's that feeling, isn't it? I'm not a meh kind of person. I don't really do the I am balanced, but I love to really feel something in an experience, in a moment, whatever I'm doing, and I like to express that as well.
Has that always been the case?
I think so, but I guess I've got more like that, and I think as you get older, I'm certainly more confident in showing that. I kind of don't really care that anyone looks over and goes, God, what's she getting excited about? Actually be excited, show people, show your emotions. I'm going to be 50 in a couple of years. Absolutely.
Join the club.
You've got to enjoy life, enjoy what you do. Yeah, I'm not like anybody. You're not like that 100% of the time. But I really want to feel and express that. It makes you feel great, doesn't it?
And I always talk about this Sunday night feeling of either dread or excitement to get to work or to do stuff. And does that transform you from going, oh, I've got to go into the office on Monday to, oh, I cannot wait to see what our moments or wow moments we're going to get this week?
And I'd be lying if I said that, after a great weekend and the sun's shining and you're out drinking, that you don't have that moment where you think, it's work tomorrow. But I would say with my working week, it absolutely flies by. And, I do actually think to myself, oh, I wish it wasn't Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. I actually don't necessarily want it to get to the end of the week because I've got so much that, that I want to do. The job that I have is so varied amongst, I have a team of 70 people. And in that team, as I say, I'm managing buying, I'm managing the commercial side. I can be talking about, the development of a new pushchair one minute. And then I can be sat in the boardroom, talking about, a commercial finance set of numbers. All within, speaking to the Hong Kong office and talking about visiting suppliers, or, talking about sustainability. All of that can happen in one day. I literally think, wow, I've gone from, I've gone through so many different types of meetings and thought processes just in my one day. And I think that's, I'm really privileged to have a job that has got so many elements to it, really.
And I suppose a lot of that difference and those different types of connections that you have, and the people and the products, sort of only helps with that energy and that excitement. But if there's people that are sort of thinking, I don't get all that, there's nothing to stop them still feeling really passionate about what they're doing. I mean, what is it, that spark, that when you get up in the morning, you go, you don't just switch a switch on and go, right, I need to be passionate now about this.
Yeah.
There's something going on all the time that causes that.
Yeah. I just think that the job that I have is, and I think I maybe touched on this last time we spoke, it's such an interesting job that has got real purpose, because what you are involved in here is possibly the most important time, in people's lives, of bringing new life into the world, and you get to be a part of that journey. You get to, get a window kind of into that. You're producing products that's going to be helpful, that they're going to use. They're going to, lay their new baby in that Moses basket or in that pushchair, that you've created. So I think, the idea that you are actually, developing and designing something that has a real purpose, I think without doubt helps create, that passion.
And I talk an awful lot about, either being connected to the purpose of that business. And so that really helps you understand your role in stuff, but also helps you balance off. I'm not just doing a job, and I'm not just a cog in a massive wheel. I'm supporting the purpose of that organization, however you do that. And I also talk about, like, finding your own individual purpose as well, because the two might be slightly different. I'm doing this job because of the business purpose, but this is my purpose in life.
Yeah. And I say that I'd be lying if I said that wasn't, actually, selfishly, that gives me my purpose. And I always say that, and I guess these are the things that you don't always share. I worry about what I would be without my role, because it actually does give me so much as a person. It makes me feel useful. It makes me feel, like I'm great at something. I love being able to pass on, my experience and work with team members and younger people. That gives you personally massive purpose, doesn't it? Without it, almost being, to do with the business as well. So, I think you, to be honest, that's what a role gives you, of this magnitude and this, I guess, that, this interest.
And I suppose, Mamas and Papas is that outlet for you almost. So again, I'm just trying to make that a little bit more lands with other people that are going, is it Mamas and Papas or is it you? But I mean, from the conversations we've had, you go, well, Mamas and Papas is your outlet, but you'd still be passionate and you'd want to connect with a purpose, whatever.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. For me as a person, I just very much believe, do it with passion or not at all, really. And as I say, I feel that, I am actually a really passionate person. And that's, that's in kind of every aspect of my life, really. I'm not really a kind of sit on the fence kind of person. Some might call it passion, and some might have other ways. Perhaps you have to have a chat with my husband about that.
I often I mean, I'm the same actually. I'm quite outspoken, but and and I'll say the same. I'm really confident that I can bring something, and I'll think about things differently. But not everybody likes the sort of the challenge or the question. I mean, I'm naturally curious, so I always ask,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
why question. Why are we doing that? What's the
Yeah. Why
purpose
we're
of
doing
it?
that? Yeah. Yeah.
And not everyone is comfortable either saying that or also receiving that. And I keep talking about being in an environment where you feel comfortable to challenge and to be yourself. And
Yeah.
it sounds like that's your natural self anyway, or
Yeah.
you've got more confident with it
Yeah.
over the years of challenging.
Yeah, and I think, you have to be careful of that. That is a balance. I mean, I'm also I'm really quite passionate again about doing the right thing. And as far as kind of culture at work, and respecting each other and really living that purpose, I am that person that would kind of call that out now if I don't see that. We
Yeah,
all have to. If we're gonna, if we say that we're all gonna come together, we're gonna have this culture, we're gonna respect each other. You have to, and you have to certainly do that. From the top level, within a
yeah,
business, so that everybody sees. That you are behaving in that way.
yeah.
And I'm happy to challenge where that isn't happening, but you do have to balance that. I would say, by my own admittance, I can be a little bit tough because I feel inherently, that's something with me. I'm quite, say I'm
Tough
quite
on others
intuitive
or tough
with
on
people. I'm
yourself?
quite natural. Sorry.
Tough on others or tough on yourself?
Well, both actually, but I can be quite a little bit unforgiving, sometimes, I would say, because I expect people to do the right thing,
Yeah.
and think in that way. But again, none of us are perfect, and I completely accept that sometimes, you can be a little bit too strong, and maybe you need to just step back a little bit and be a little bit more patient. And I think understand is,
So what does that look like because when someone's full of passion and enthusiasm, someone that's quite balanced and will sort of look at things in an alternative way. I know from my own
yeah,
experience, you sort of,
yeah.
oh, come on, why isn't everyone thinking the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
way
Why
as
is it
me?
wrong with me? Why aren't you seeing what I see? And you have to accept and acknowledge that other people maybe need a little bit more time to sit back and think about it, or they may not, necessarily react in the same way as you. Because if that's what you believe in
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what you're fighting, then kind of get off that fence and tell people, good or bad,
yeah,
that you have to have an opinion on something.
yeah.
I'm not somebody who sits on the fence, and again, that is probably one of the ones that can irritate me a little bit, shall we say? Um,
Do you see I mean, I always remember having a conversation when I was down south and people going, you're getting more northern you are. So what do you mean by that? You're finding your confidence and your challenge and you ask questions. Do you think there's something in that,
oh,
because
a little bit of the I say what I like and I bloody well like
yes,
what I say. Is that the reputation of the Northerners? No, I don't think so, because I think you meet people in all walks of life. The different. I don't necessarily think that is the Northern thing. I guess
I,
it's just more of an individual
I think
um,
so. Yeah, I think that was just their sort of response as to me being
personality. Yeah, but
probably
you have
confident.
those moments where you come away and I reflect and I think I should have just sat back there a little bit, jumping in and wanting to kind of get the point across. And
Yeah,
certainly, I mean, I think I've got better at that. Definitely within my role now as product director, you've got to make sure
yeah,
the behaviours have got to be, they've got to be right, haven't they?
yeah. Do you
That
find
I
yourself
love
doing
a bit of
more of that
passion. Sorry?
reflecting? Do you find yourself doing more of that reflection on yourself as you get a little bit older or you get more experience in work?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always, and I would say this, is that actually I am really, really self-aware. I think it's not that, I think I probably have always reflected on it in the same way. I think now, I probably just, I'm self-aware. So I always say, and I've had this conversation with managers in the past, I kind of go, I don't need to be told, I do know. And actually, I did it even though I knew the way that I was, making that point. So I think it's just making that decision perhaps to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
deal with it in a different way, but always probably quite self-aware. Um,
I think the difference is that I've been full of enthusiasm, but not
yes.
necessarily been fully self-aware or reflective. And I've found
Yeah.
myself over the last sort of, you know, 7 to 10 years, I've been more reflecting on going, "Oh, hold on a second, I need to
Yeah.
pause, look at this slightly differently, understand what's going on with other people around me, because,
Yeah.
that's going to make a big difference."
Yeah. Because and I do think as well, in all walks of life, I pretty much work on the fact that 95% of people are good, are great, and the people that you work with, and I also 95% of them want to do a great job.
Yeah,
So actually, if you feel that you are in conflict with somebody, you have to work through that because nobody comes to work wanting to do a bad job. Everybody wants to do the right thing, don't they? And to do well and get on with people,
yeah.
um, and be proud of what they do. So I think sometimes you do have to stop and try and see other people's point of view.
I always say to people about, when they say, "Oh, I've had a bad day because of so and so or this, that, and the other." Well, how did you approach it? Well, I was ready for them. I said, well, what, you were ready for like a battle? Yeah, sort of. Well, if you're ready for that, then it's probably going to
Yeah,
end up like a battle, isn't it? But
yeah,
if you approach it like you want to make friends and understand,
yeah,
it's probably going to end up like that as well.
yeah. And there's still some days I go in thinking, right, I'm gonna have him today.
Let's name no names on here.
Name no names, but sometimes all you need, get into the office, it's nice and quiet, have your coffee, and have eaten your breakfast, and you think, oh, actually, no, it's going to be a good day today.
Yeah, everything's all right. Yeah, I think I've referenced it on here as well. I used to have an old a
Mm,
director who always used to say, "Choose your mood," and so that's the sort of the focus of every day. You choose your mood. If you want to be grumpy, then you're gonna have you choose your mood to be grumpy. But if you want a really good
yeah,
day, then you start off in that mindset as
yeah,
well.
absolutely. But you know what? We're all human, and we make mistakes. We can't all be, positive and sunny all of the time. We all have different things going on with, life, family, work, sleep, health,
Yeah,
all of those things. And I think you just have to, not, and I guess not be too hard on yourself sometimes when you do get it wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
What
I
do you
would
think
say.
there's a do you think that would help more businesses if there was a culture that allowed that failure and celebrated that failure to then learn and do things differently?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think genuinely working at Mamas and Papas and certainly, right from the very top, we all understand that we're human. We all have, lots of things that are going on both, inside and outside of work. And we understand how that might affect us all. And we're all just incredibly supportive of each other. And without doubt, I guess I forget, and I've been with Mamas and Papas for 20 years now, what is it like somewhere else that doesn't have that kind of culture? And
Yeah.
I think we have got really, these last few years, and I see it around the teams as well, everyone seems to have got much better at talking and being open and honest. S- when I first had my kids, my first daughter was like 17. And back then it was almost like you had to pretend you didn't have a child when you
Wow.
came back to work. And, because kind of working mums, you didn't have the same time off. You kind of had to come back to keep your job, and I think you wanted to just keep that facade up that you weren't
Yeah.
weaker, in any way.
It's
Um,
interesting that you say that as well, because I
yeah,
recall being in an organisation and using having kids as an excuse as to why I couldn't do things and feeling really guilty for it as well. I'm really
yeah,
sorry I can't get down there for that
yeah,
time, but I have got kids, and
yeah,
I need to look after them as well.
yeah. But I think no, we're all very open here, and I think even from a mental health perspective, I would have no worries at all, and do that. Certainly with my peers, people I work with, and I'll say, actually, I'm having a bit of a funny day today. I'm not
Yeah,
feeling quite right, or feel a little bit down this week, or I
yeah,
don't,
not
don't know what's
feeling
wrong
it.
with me. I'm off my stride.
Yeah,
Anything like that, we all feel really comfortable about talking to each
yeah,
other about. And it's, I think that's become quite natural for all of us. We're very comfortable saying that. Whereas, you know, years ago,
yeah.
obviously, you would never show weakness, would you?
No, be quiet,
And
get on with it.
certainly,
I'm
there is,
okay.
yeah, and and particularly for men as well, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Would a man say, that they were having problems with their mental health or how they felt?
It's
But,
funny how that's changed as well, because
yeah,
when you say, I mean, something so simple as to say, "Do you know, I'm having a funny day today.
yeah,
I'm not really feeling it." Something like that
yeah,
just rolls off the tongue so easy these days. But you're right. Only a
it
few
does.
years ago, it'd have been,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm fine."
Yeah, but I actually think that's therapy. That's your little bit of
Yeah, of
therapy,
course
and
it is.
then you've got all of these people around you supporting you, kind of just looking out for you, and how are you
Yeah,
getting on? You feeling a bit better today?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
there anything we can do?
yeah.
And just that simple act of caring from
Caring.
somebody and
Yeah,
asking how you are, or just putting their arm around you, feeling a bit better, bob over with a coffee
yeah,
or a little bit of
yeah,
chocolate, something like that. Simple acts can turn that feeling around, and I
yeah.
think it's great that people are talking like that now.
I do, and I
And
think there's
it's
more.
nothing to do with, it's completely separate from the work. It's not, nobody's sat there thinking, well, they're not going to do well today. They're not going to perform well today. It's not related to that. It's okay,
Can hug.
to have those conversations. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
more, that's great.
I do, I do. So what would you say your superpower is then, or what would your team say your superpower is?
Goodness. I mean, I was gonna say passion is actually, I think the passion is one of my superpowers. But I do think it's, I think people, for me. And, the way that I say manage a team, I my colleagues, it's not as
Yeah,
though, you're the boss. We don't really have that kind of culture here. And I think, hopefully I manage and support and inspire, all of the people in my team as individuals. And hopefully, I'm able to, give them, the same passion, that I have for the brand and what we do. And as you know, that kind of thing is infectious, isn't it? It
yeah,
affects you
definitely.
massively if the people around you have not got that excitement, and they don't believe that you're doing a good job, or you don't get that kind of encouragement. I think my superpower at work for me is people, I would say.
Yeah, wow.
Hopefully, and then hopefully I
Well,
do add
there's a
more.
challenge for you then to ask your team when you get back.
I
What do you think my
will. I will ask them
superpower is?
what is my superpower. Well, I'll ask a couple of them, but yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, it's not a bad superpower, is it? Because
Yeah,
I was having this conversation the other day about, and we turned it into a movie, like, but how many people would say their superpower gives them like enhanced abilities, and we called them the baddies, and how many people just radiated stuff for the benefit of other people, and we said, well, they play the goodies in the movie, it's like
yeah,
that that character really. I think, wouldn't it be amazing? The more people in businesses, their superpower becomes enhancing other people rather than, I'd have this and I'd have that. And it's all
Yeah,
introvert stuff.
yeah. And I think it's great to just be and to be a team, actually. I think, there's not it's not really an ego driven business that we're in here. I think it's everybody working together, for the purpose and the as a collective, really. I mean, it makes it sound like everything is, unicorns and butterflies, and of course, we have our challenges, but genuinely, I think, a lot of people will, kind of echo the same, really.
I wonder if that's because the purpose is to give those moments for other people. So it's,
Yes.
it's really rewarding to know that you've been part of that journey to create that moment. But actually, the
Yeah.
ultimate benefit is for your customers to get that.
Yes.
And so, I wonder if that's having something to do with why people are so grounded on it's not me, it's for them.
Yeah, because I guess it's a less selfish purpose that
Yeah.
you're working towards, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, it's for other people.
It is for other people, and you can sit back and when when you see those reviews and you can hear the customers and they give you that feedback. There's nothing better,
No, there isn't. No.
than seeing that the difference or the joy that brings to people's lives, really.
If people want to chat with you a little bit more or find out what you're doing there, what's the best way for people to see that?
I guess these days LinkedIn is quite a good
Yeah.
one, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of talking to us, but we're always happy to to talk more about what we do. I mean, like I am mamas and papas poster girls. I'm more than happy. It's my favourite subject. I can talk about it all day long.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
No, you are very welcome.
This has been mindboost Moments. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more, subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. And if you want to learn how mindboost can really add feeling and emotion to learning experiences within your business, check out our website at mindboostlearning.com.